with wine, girl. I love to see it. Miss Laura, Miss Laura, Miss Laura. My Cali, Miss Laura, my Cali connection. She's not the woman who gave me the mushrooms from the last video. This is another Cali connection. Living her best life. Free your mind and the rest will follow. I hope you're doing well tonight, Miss Laura. This one I think might touch your soul. Miss Laura is my rich auntie in my heart. That's what she doesn't know, is that she is just such a strong, incredible person. I am hoping that someday we will meet in person. And Miss Laura, not to put you on the spot, but I would love to interview you on or off camera for the collective. She said yes. She said yes. I love it. I would love that. Maybe out in California towards the end of this year. I am working with a client right now to see how that's going to go. So if I'm out there and if it's in your neck of the woods, even if it's not, I know California's a big place. We're going to make that happen. All right, Miss Laura. All right. So let's get into it. This is going to be a bit of a tarot reading and also a bit of a talk off here. So for those of you that are straight up into tarot and you just want to get right into it, I don't even know when it is going to. You will do it off camera. Excellent. I'm happy for that to facilitate that. I have a lot of people that are not so interested in that. But what I will tell you is this. I want to get into this with you tonight. Someone thought that could replace you. So I have a story to tell. So in the last video, if you saw that last live about the mushrooms, I was guided to buy a new deck of cards. And I was not intending to get the metaphysical cannabis deck that I got, but I am so grateful I did. Can't wait to read for you from it. I will be doing a formal unboxing of that where I show you all the magic of it and the whole thing. It's really well done, and I love when things are well done. Now, the reason that I even found myself perusing to end up stumbling upon that, well, I wasn't stumbling. I definitely think I was guided by my angels to go in that direction. But the reason that that happened is because I have a deck of cards that I use. Sorry guys, my necklace is giving me the blues. I'm trying not to break it. It's stuck in my hair. Okay, so the reason that I was guided to even do that for you, or guided to even get into those cards, is because I have a favorite deck that I use, and the deck that I use was starting to show some wear and tear. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to order a new deck because it's my favorite deck. So what I've been using lately is the Golden Girl deck, and I think I have her here because she has been a standby. The star, Aquarius energy. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That's also how come everybody's tea is coming out of the woodworks in the media lately. Ooh, and the Two of Cups. Who's having some love? Are you falling in love with yourself? Because that could be a thing too. It's not always somebody else in you, but the Two of Cups is definitely about a love relationship. Anyway, so the Golden Girl deck has been like me and my homie right now. For sure, it's been my ace boon coon as of late. But my favorite deck is this. It's the Spellcaster's Tarot, and this is not about casting spells. So relax for anybody who's all in their religious indoctrination. This is just, I don't know, they name books whatever they name them, but it's one of the better ones. Laura says it's not her getting into that. We know, Miss Laura, but that rose quartz in that box, though, that rose quartz, you can't make it up. Our angels never lie. Anyway, that's between me and you. But the spellcaster's handbook here is what you get with the deck and whatever the case may be. Well, anyway, I already have one of these because I bought this deck a while ago. So this is the deck, right? And it looks like this. So here's the thing. You can even hear it as I shuffle. It sounds muffled. Well, it's because it's worn, and I usually, y'all, I'm a girly girl, so I always have like perfumed lotion hands and stuff like that. So the oils from your hands naturally, right, is a thing. But with that being a situation, these cards have all of the oils in my hands. They even to me smell like my perfume hands, and I was like, oh, this is not a good look because I do travel, I work with clients, I do parties, all the stuff. So when I take my deck, I take usually about 50 cards with me in one of my organizers, and so this is like one of my go-tos. Like, I love her so much. Anyway, so this is what it looks like, right? Oh my god, I just happened to have the strength card here. I didn't even do that on purpose. That's standing for Leo, seeing things clearly, August, and that's me. So what I will tell you is that, you can kind of see, like, the edges are not dog-eared per se, but afraid a bit and whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna order a new deck because this is my favorite deck. So listen to the way the new deck sounds. A little crispier. We'll do a side by side. Meow, meow, meow. New deck. right? So this is what the new deck looks like. Perfectly pristine, all together. Oh, you're burning a strength candle now. See? Look at the synchronicities. I love how our angels do it. So this is what they look like side by side. Can you see the difference, guys? So this one is definitely weathered. The oils for my hands, tons of use because it's my favorite go-to deck. This is the brand new deck that I just cracked out of the box a couple days ago. Now here's what I noticed when I got the deck. I was like, these are not the same quality. These are a much thinner card stock. Like, take a look. And the whole reason that these could even be so weathered is because they are comprised of a thicker card stock, if you can see. I'll try to do a side by side. I don't know if you'll be able to really get that on camera, but you can kind of see that they're not created equal. And my angel said there's a whole reading here for you, and a third eye candle, the pineal gland, excellent. And so they said they're just not created equal. So they said, this is a reading for my divine feminine. So I will go back in once this uploads and title it, because you only get 60 characters, those haters, when you're doing a live. But I'll have more when I go back into edit. So we're gonna get into it. Someone thought they could replace you, and they thought whatever they replaced you for was gonna be a better quality. It wasn't. Someone thought that what they were going to replace you for was going to serve them better. It didn't. Someone hasn't even, for some of you guys, someone hasn't even fully come into the realization of what a crappy trade-off they made for whatever they thought they had. I'm hearing Fleetwood Mac, what you had and what you lost. What is it? Players only love you when they're playing. Girl, someone thought that they were going to upgrade it, and they thought that you were the old weathered thing, yeah? And what happened is I developed such an appreciation for these cards when I saw the side by side, because my intention was to donate them to somebody else or to throw them away. I was like, well, or turn them into art. Sometimes I'll do that with my cards that are like past their prime. I'll include them into a piece of work or something, to give to someone to help them raise a vibration. The same way like Miss Laura's talking about burning a candle, I make art specifically that is about raising your vibration for whatever you need. So whether you need a money adjustment or enhancement, love, whatever, and I use all kinds of materials in it, from upcycled jewelry to right? So I was like, oh, maybe they'll be part of a new piece of art. I'm getting ready for another show next year. I'm excited. Since the pandemic, I haven't done a show, so I was doing them like back to back, and then the pandemic happened. So it's gonna be paint time again. Anyway, so I've already begun. But what I will tell you is that I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a new deck. And even when you see them side by side, all the cards are here, but you can see how much thicker the one deck is than the other. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. This deck is just naturally thicker because it's so warm. So I was like, I'm going to get rid of them, use them for something else, no biggie. And then when I got them, I was like, actually, I'm going to use both of them, and it just will be more thorough readings. What I realized is that sometimes trading in for the new thing is not always what you think it's going to be. There is something to be said for long-term connections, friendships, relationships, for longevity in and of itself. It's not easy to attain. It's not easy to do, and that's why it's prized and it's special for me and you. Because when you do it, you get such incredible benefits. The relationships that I enjoy the most are relationships where I've had long-term connections with people. And nothing lasts and stays perfect and pristine and crispy the way that these cards are. They get weathered and they get patinaed, and I actually rather enjoy that. And it's so funny because just like people that have tossed us away, Divine Feminine, I definitely thought these cards have kind of, let's get a new deck, let's get something prettier. But I appreciate that so much more in the side-by-side comparison, because the initial deck is quality. And that happens a lot with reprints with decks. For any reader out there, you'll notice that. Especially like one that I can immediately point to is Doreen Virtue. I have on hand here is the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. And this is a deck. I had her original one, and I don't know what happened to them. And so I ordered a second one a while ago, and they are also made of this flimsier cardstock. They're not as big. The first ones were gilded in gold. They were gorgeous. Like the outside rim was gilded in gold. Let your friends help you is the card here. So these are smaller as well. It's great for shuffling, because sometimes anybody that uses decks knows that some of those oracle decks and stuff can get really cumbersome and heavy for shuffling, and all I do all day is shuffle, and I'm trying to not get carpal tunnel, y'all, okay? So all I do all day is shuffle and all of that stuff. So any case, here's the deal. Someone thought that you were going to be able to be easily replaced. Someone thought that they could upgrade you. Someone thought that they could do better. Someone thought that you were not the best that they had, they were bloody wrong. They were bloody wrong. Someone got it wrong. But I had to have compassion in a moment, because sometimes we will be dismayed by the thing that looks shiny and new. I certainly was, even with these cards. Oh, a newer deck will be better. Oh, they sound different. These feel different. Whatever the case may be. And in the side-by-side comparison, the quality of these is impeccable. And I will keep them until I can't anymore. And so that is the story. So let's see what the reading is for you today. Take a sip of water. My seltzer is popping. Ooh, fresh seltzer. Excuse me. Okay, show me what I need to see for Divine Feminine. Now, I'm not going to lie. That shuffle is nice, right? Because it's harder to shuffle the other deck. So I'm working with the new deck. So let's talk about what whoever may have traded you in thought they were getting. Let's start with the new. First card out is the Ten of Swords. What they ended up getting was betrayal. Absolute, complete betrayal. But it was wrapped up in love. So this is a very specific message for someone regarding relationship crossovers, dynamics, maybe someone cheating, maybe a best friendship, betrayal, something of that nature. So, you know, I totally can relate, because who amongst us has not been in this situation? But what I'm going to tell you is that it was wrapped up in love. They thought they were going to be getting love, sweet love. What else? And now they're missing you. A Three of Wands. Now they're, oh, and that fell out of my hand. They don't even want me to tell you that. Okay. Don't be mad. I'm thinking my grabber. Now they're missing you. I don't even see it. Girl, they don't want you to know. Excuse me. You have a secret lurker. What I'm hearing is that someone is watching you. And I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm hearing someone is watching you. Someone is watching you. Yeah, and they have been for a while. Laura says, please don't miss me. Ms. Laura, you're not going to make me choke on my water. Please don't miss me. But someone does miss you, Miss Laura, and I can also attest, as your personal reader, I can tell you that someone does miss you, Miss Laura. But the World card, it's over for you. It's a wrap. Miss Laura, is this reading for you specifically tonight? It might be. It's over for you. Clarify what they thought they were getting. They also thought, no, it's so funny. You're good, girl. You're good. They thought they were getting a new beginning. But here's the thing. With the World here, we're dealing with cyclical patterns of behavior. So that means that whatever was happening with you and this person was happening over and over and over again, and you got tired of it. So that's the World. Cyclical patterns of behavior. Also, this is representative of a new birth, of a new creation, of a new connection. And this is definitely the energy of embryonic, being in utero. So you are birthing yourself. There's new things happening in your life. But they thought that they were going to get a new beginning, is the message that I'm supposed to tell you. Now what they have is anxiety. Now what they have is PTSD. Now what they have is a need for Paxil on a regular basis. And no offense to anybody that regulates in any capacity, but to the person that thought that they were going to replace you, now they are needing medication. I'm hearing medication. Your medication gets me high. Someone needs some healing. Someone needs some sexual healing. Who put it on somebody? They miss it. Let's clarify the energy. They miss it, they said. That's what I just heard. They miss it. They miss it. They miss it. So who misses what? What did they think they were getting with the new upgrade? They thought they were getting a break. A break from what? What did they think they were getting a break from? A break from the responsibilities of the family with the Ten of Pentacles. A break from the responsibilities of interactive partnership. Someone here wasn't holding up their end of the bargain. With the Ten of Pentacles, we're always dealing with stability within a home or a marriage or a relationship or a long-term friendship or whatever. Someone here wasn't holding up their end of the bargain. Someone here was working with you at one point, or did allude to be working with you at one point, but then ceased to work with you as it no longer fit their agenda, needs, or moods. What did they think they got when they switched out for the nude? Laura says, well, Dern, there you have it. Exactly. They got freedom, they thought. So they vacated the premises. Illusion, exactly. Neptune. Right in front of me. I still have my mushrooms here. Neptune. Yeah. So what they got was freedom, they thought. But what was the reality? With the Chariot here, what was the reality? of what they got. They got someone who saw through them. And it wasn't the karmic, it wasn't the new situation, it wasn't whatever they escaped you for, it was you. Divine Feminine, you show up here as the High Priestess. They were not banking on that. They were not banking on you seeing through their BS and knowing exactly what they were up to and knowing exactly how they were lying to you. What I love about this High Priestess here is it looks like a black ball of obsidian as her face. The High Priestess is the High Priestess is renowned for knowing all. That's why the Book of Knowledge is open before her, but not speaking. So what we do as Divine Feminines and Empaths and Earth Angels, when someone is lying to us or betraying us, or maybe even getting ready to leave us or trying to sabotage a relationship, we'll know it's coming. We don't ever let on, do we? That we know. Never, never. Never, never. What did they think they were walking into? Love. Maybe a better situation. Maybe something more emotional. What was the reality of what they walked into? Isolation. Loneliness. Ooh. Someone's outcasted here with the Hermit. And so, why? What happened with that situation? Oh, they were juggling. They were juggling their illusions. They were juggling insanity. They were juggling you with their ideologies or another person completely. They were juggling you with another family or another emotion. They were juggling you with lies and the truth. Even if it wasn't another person, they were juggling you with lies and they were juggling you with the truth. You knew what the truth was. Let's pull from the old deck. What did you know? Let's see, Divine Feminine. What did you know about the situation? You knew that you were building stability, that you were building an empire, that you were working on your home, your business, your retirement maybe. Maybe you were working on a new phase and chapter in your life, and you were diligently saving for a rainy day. Mastery is associated with the card of the Eight of Pentacles, so you were building something while they were juggling. Someone, something, or terrible ideas, bad advice, people in their ear. What did you know regarding that Eight of Pentacles? You knew that it was going to lead you to something that made you passionate and made you feel loved. For some of you guys, you knew that working on yourself was going to lead to self-love, which is the greatest love of all, really. We cannot love someone else unless we love ourselves. RuPaul said it a million times. The greatest love of all is inside of you. Whitney said it, and it is the truth. So you are working towards something you're passionate about, even if it's just self-care, even if it is your personal peace of mind. You were working towards something that you were passionate about while they were working towards effery, truly. And what they ended up with is the ultimate effery. They did this to you and ended up with nothing. But they traded you in. They did. They traded you in for what they thought would be better. They traded you in for their ego. In some cases, some of these people traded you in simply for their ego. They just wanted to be right. Didn't realize what they were forfeiting. But what did you know, Divine Feminine? You knew that there would be confusion that comes with this. It's associated with scorpionic energy, the Seven of Cups. You knew that what they were getting was the snake that comes out of one of these cups, because in the cups, you can find love, you can find a ring, you can find financial stability, you can find new ideas for a job, a relationship. There are a lot of things that can be found in the cups, but what you will not find in the cup is a sure answer. The mere idea of seven, and seven is always a warning when we're taking a look here. It could be about synchronicity, but when we're looking at it this way, it's definitely a warning. So what you knew is that they were juggling and playing with fire, and that they were going to end up in a place where they were no longer having access to you, because if someone has that many cups and they're not using their discernment, see, you show up as a High Priestess, Divine Feminine, so you were using your discernment. You kind of knew what they may or may not be getting into. You kind of knew. And what I'm going to tell you here is that they inevitably chose the cup of poison. I think I spoke about that in the last video, or maybe this one, drinking from the poison cup. Yeah, clarify what else you knew of Divine Feminine. It's so funny how you're mirroring each other here. You knew because you were watching their behavior. See, in this deck, we have the two hermits that came out. You were watching their behavior. You were holding a light up to the truth. What was the truth that Divine Feminine saw? They saw someone totally in ego. I have a video up here called it's called Gaston, because when I see the King of Wands It is literally ego. It is associated with any fire sign. So Leo's Aries or Sagittarius. But even if the person was not of this sign, they can embody the egotistical and lower vibrational traits that those signs can contain. And I am a Leo woman, so I tell you no lies. Leo men are quite egotistical. So can Leo women be as well. But I associate the King of Wands with Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. If you need an archetype, we love archetypes. If you need an archetype regarding what kind of egoic person you were dealing with. So what do we know about Gaston? Let's take a quick look at that. Gaston was very selfish, very self-centered. He wanted Belle very much for himself, but he wanted her in an acquisitory way. He wanted her because it made him look good. He wanted her because she could take care of him, whether it be financially, emotionally, sexually, food-wise. He eats 12 dozen eggs every morning to help him get strong. So that is exactly what he wanted Belle for. And he wanted Belle to be clamoring like the rest of the village girls and idiots were. Oh, Gaston, no one sings like Gaston. So someone in your life wanted you to praise them for being mediocre. Because the truth of the matter is all that Gaston was, according to the lore and the movie, a specimen to look at. So maybe this person felt like they were attractive, or maybe they had some redeeming quality. Clearly, they were in your life for a reason, so you did it to at some point enjoy them. So whether this was a friend, a lover, a spouse, whatever, think about what attracted to you. But that same bravado is the same exact thing that turned you off from them and made you repulsed and disgusted in them. And it is all that they had was their ego. Please serve me. Please please me. I won't compromise with you. I have nothing to give you. Please show up for me. Please love me. Please take care of me. Please provide for me. And you were watching this and you were like, oh, so you found one of the village idiots that's going to do that for you? Or maybe you left me for your ego and your ego is going to take care of you. Well, the ego will set you up for failure every time. So that's what you saw with your Hermit card. You held the light up to Gaston, to the ego, and you said, I see you. I see you, mofo. I see what you're doing. I see how you're trying me. I see how you're lying. I see how you think that I'm grateful for you or that you are some prize when the only reason that you look as good, feel as good, and present as good is because I, with my magical divine feminine energy, upgraded you. You're welcome, Kimosabi. You're welcome. You saw the truth. What else? What did Gaston think? What did this egotistical person that traded you in because they wanted the new upgrade think? They thought, I'm getting away with murder. Miss Laura says she saw it clearly. They said, I'm getting away with the murder. The Five of Swords. Now, anybody that reads knows we don't like this card. The Seven of Swords is only the one worse. But the Five of Swords means that they purposely lied to you. They gaslit you. They purposely misled you. They purposely played mind games with you. They would try to get you caught up and confused in their word salads, narcissistic behavior. They were inherently toxic because that King of Wands can be inherently toxic. So they were inherently toxic. They were purposely toxic. They were purposely misleading. They did lies of omission. They also lied about you to people in the community with the Five of Swords. Five is gossip. Five is competition. Five is Saturnian changes. Five is change, period, that they don't want. So what else did Gaston? So that's how he ended up, or she, or they, or the situation ended up upgrading because they thought, I'm so clever. See, the Five of Wands wants to win, or excuse me, I said the Five of Wands. So someone definitely thought that you were going to compete for them or chase them or something, because the Five of Wands would be that. But what they thought was like, oh, I'm so clever. They're never going to notice this. They're never going to catch on. They're never going to understand what I've done. Clarify the truth here. And so they betrayed. Who? They betrayed you. Well, who did they really betray? Look at how we're mirroring each other. They betrayed themselves. I can't make it up. They betrayed themselves. Now, here's what I hate about this card. It's the pain. They gave you bad behavior over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Let's go through that again. They gave you bad behavior over and 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 over again. The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is mercurial. My angels are so awesome. The card of Mercury is sitting right before me. Ten of Swords is mercurial. Swords are mercurial. They are associated with air. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So they betrayed you with their words. They betrayed you with lies. They betrayed you. Even if they aren't that sign, those signs are associated with mercurial energy. Let's talk about it. Mercury is a planet of communication, logic, and reasoning. Your Mercury sign dictates how well you will process and digest information, as well as how well you will communicate with others. Your Mercury sign can overpower your predominant placements, being your sun, moon, and rising. The house in which your Mercury sits will also provide insight to where your mental focus will go. Well, they put their mental focus into fuckery. Okay? They put their mental focus, Five of Swords, into fuckery, betrayal, repeatedly. That's where they put their mental focus in. And you could see it coming. A lot of you guys here, like me, disembarked before they could properly stab you for the 10th and final time. A lot of you guys were led to leave your situations because you are the high priestess, you are the empath, you are divine feminine. I'm so bloody proud of you. And you got out before they could cause you the greatest injury, which in turn, if you were dealing with narcissists, as many of us were, you caused them the greatest injury of their life. They hate you for it. They miss you because of it. But what they can't dispute or argue is that they orchestrated it, because they did. They started the ball rolling. They started the wheels turning. They thought they were so clever. They thought they were so sneaky. They were going to force you into a corner to accept their doctrine, their indoctrination, to accept their ideology. They were going to force you into a corner to see yourself as bad. A lot of the people that come to this channel are here because people have judged you for your spiritual beliefs, your alignments, whatever they may be. So they definitely thought that what you were doing was out of alignment with what they thought was the right way, but they had no idea what the right way was. And I know that because they show up here as the Seven of Cups. This is confusion. Now, some of those people had religious spirits on them, because there is such a thing as a religious narcissist. And what the Bible says that those people don't read, but they love to bludgeon you over the head with, is the devil is the author of confusion. So let's talk about that. They were creating confusion by creating lies of omission, by not communicating clearly, by not doing anything, and they were standing in great judgment of you when you were actually the divine being. It doesn't mean you're perfect. What we know as divine beings is that we are in fact not perfect. What does the word say? All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But these pious people were looking down their noses at you. Now, in my situation, y'all, can we talk for a minute? Definitely, I had someone look down their nose at me and judge me for the work that I do. Meanwhile, back at the farm, they were miserable with the work that they did, and they hated their 9-to-5 grind. And listen, I'm not begrudging anybody a 9-to-5. I had paid my dues, but I evolved up and I evolved out because that's what worked for me. It's not for everybody, but what I will tell you is this. I was judged by people that were in a very restricted place, in a very restricted South, that were like besought with religious demons and had no idea about the word or the God that I serve, which is actually the one and true. And so I leave all your spirituality and your beliefs to you. I know what I do. I don't push that on anybody, but they wanted to push that on me, and they were in quiet evil eye disagreement. So some of you guys had spouses. Talk about sleeping with the enemy. Some of you guys had lovers. Some of you guys had friends. Some of you guys had family members that were in your face, but hoping that your sidewalk ended. Yeah, and no one should throw stones at glass houses, as Miss Laura says. They were hoping that your sidewalk ended. They were hoping that you would fail, and they felt that they were right to be in judgment of you. But that's a wonderful soulmate lesson to learn, isn't it? Because it is you who is left standing while they are out in the cold. But let's take a look and see what became of our exes, friends, and foes. What does Divine Feminine need to know about the way that they use their Mercury? They use it to cause stalemates. They use it to buy time. They use it to emotionally manipulate you here with the Magician and the Four of Swords. This is really interesting to me because by having lies and omissions and not really communicating clearly, what they did was they created stagnancy in the relationship dynamic, and they did it with their words as well. Clarify that, Magician. The clarification is they wanted you to be in your head. So this could be someone that was projecting negativity at you, standing in judgment of you, giving you a lot of like like confusing words, and they did it over and over and over again until you got fed up. The 10 of Wands, you put it down. You're like, enough is enough. So that's the thing that I don't think that people realize here. And I'm being drawn right now to a piece of moldavite here. This is a powerful changing stone. Maybe someone needs to invest. I have a few pieces here of moldavite that I keep in my little clear pouch here. This is very powerful for changing your life. And when I was going through transition, I picked up moldavite. It's very powerful. I would do this before you purchase it. Please Google people's experiences with it, because it's not to be played with. Moldavite will change your life in ways, and you'll be like, wait, how do we get here? The reason that I'm saying that, though, is because when I see the 10 of Wands, you are ready for a new beginning. 10s are really powerful in the deck. They are dealing with endings and new beginnings at all times, and they are dealing with forms of completion and whole new beginnings. So what you did was you emotionally snuck away from the person and plotted your exit plan and strategy, and you did a brilliant job because you got out. But all of this started because they thought that something new was better. What did they think about the new thing? Clarify. Oh, well, they thought that fighting for this new life would be something that would be beneficial. Now, this is not for everybody. I'm getting a very clear message that someone thought that they wanted to fight for someone specifically. This is a message for very few people. Someone thought that someone else was better because they had to fight for them, or they couldn't always have their attention, or they felt that they were in a competition. This is for someone specifically that was dealing with this is definitely third party interference. This is definitely like an affair. So whoever someone got left for, whoever's watching this, what happened was is that the reason that they ascribed value to what they left you for is because the other person had other people clamoring, which usually means that someone doesn't have self-esteem, and it means that they utilize people as sources. So they went to a narcissist. Okay, so that's what I just heard. They went to like a malignant narcissist. So someone that enjoyed having people fight over them. So they saw that as value. So we're dealing with a masculine energy that has left a feminine energy. Even if it's a man or a woman, you figure out the body you're in, but the energy is right. So what we have is, so a man left you, divine feminine, or a masculine energy left you, divine feminine, to go chase after someone who had a damsel archetype energy. So they were always weepy, suicidal, couldn't keep their life together, needed help and direction. They, big batting eyelashes, said, oh my God, you saved me, you helped me, that kind of energy. And they had a lot of people clamoring over them. That's what the masculine didn't know, is that they had a whole roster, but they were like, oh, if I win, I've won a prize. So tell them what they won, folks. They won a manipulator with a magician. What else did they win? What's behind door number 3? Was it a whammy, or was it a big money? Oh, at first their ego was stroked. So even if someone didn't leave you in that situation, what they did was they were really satisfied with themselves at first. Like, I showed her. I made a good decision. So whatever they got into at first, it must have felt good, must have felt like it was the right thing for them. Clarify the truth of what was behind it. Confusion. The 2 of Swords. The devil is the author of confusion. With the 2 of Swords here, what's lurking? The wolf. Someone walked into their demise by being cold to you. You see those mountains in the background? Those alpine ice caps? They walked into their demise by being cold to you, by being silent and by being withholding, by not having balance. On her shirt is a yin and yang symbol, which is what a divine feminine and masculine relationship can have. And what they walked into was their death. And I know that they walked into their death because look at this. Whew, love to see it. Love to see it. Remember I said the swords are mercurial. So someone with health communication couldn't make a decision about, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I treat my partner like this? Do I communicate clearly? Do I apologize and make this right? Do I start treating them right on a regular basis? Or do I leave? Well, they couldn't make up their mind, so the universe made up their mind for them. They thought it was fun playing games with you, and I know that because I do have the 5 of Wands competition. They thought it was fun playing games with you. They thought it was hilarious, and I know that too because I also have the 5 of Swords here. But here's what happened. So they thought it was hilarious. They thought it was a great idea idea. But here's what happened is they played themselves, because that first wolf came in, it smelled blood. Oh, you're a dummy. That's what the universe said. Oh, you're not too bright, because this high priestess can see what's going on here. She can see in the night and she can see in the day, and she knows as a divine feminine that you are here and you want to play. And so they said, well, play we shall. I've got some friends that want to play too. A whole group of wolves that would love to eat you. The better to eat you with, my dear. Someone played in your face and thought it was a fucking trick in a game. And guess what happened? They became the game. The games are over, Miss Laura says. Man, I love Miss Laura here. The Tower, Scorpionic energy. Oh, yeah, the games are over. So what happened? Oh, this is a good story tonight. This is a telenovela, okay? What happened was this person thought that they were going to play with you. And what happened? Oh, Brian's here. I don't see anybody else. It's so funny. I only see Miss Laura. It's so weird. I don't know what's going on with my chat tonight. But they thought that they were going to leave you. Okay. Oh God, this is so good. Take a look here at the bottom of the imagery here. Hi, Brian. I see you now. Take a look at the bottom of the imagery here. So this is who they might, or listen, if they were left you for their ego, fine. If they left you for another person, they were protecting that person. And the universe said both of you guys will face karma. So somebody here needs to know that whatever connection or whatever, it didn't work the way that they wanted it to. It was a hot mess. The Tower is Scorpionic energy. And so what happens with Scorpionic energy is whatever it touches, it changes. And it changes and brings a death or an ending. So it can be in the positive, death, rebirth, and transformation. But death is part of that cycle. So something ended. A way of life ended. A way of being taken care of ended. A way of being seen ended. Their standing in the community ended. Maybe their secrets got out. That ended. You were protecting them. You were a light to them. You were a beacon of hope to them in whatever capacity. That ended. You won't fool with them anymore. You won't talk to them anymore. And everything ended. Their financial money ended. Someone thought you were a lick too. That is a colloquial term for like a sitting duck. Someone that they could take advantage of, so financially as well, because I'm seeing that, because I'm hearing that you were building your empire here with the Eight of Pentacles, or saving your retirement, putting your coins away, and what was happening is that they were siphoning that energy to take to somebody else or to take to their ego. They just said, I'll live off of you. Clarify how that worked out. What's the result of the Tower? Heartbreak. Welcome to heartbreak. In the night, coldest story ever told. Somewhere far across the world, they lost their soul to an ego so heartless, to a woman so heartless, to a man so heartless, to a job so heartless, to a situation or family member so heartless, somebody that was ruthless. The Three of Swords is one of the most agonizing cards that you can pull. There is another tarot deck I have, the Light Seers Tarot, that I love. And the way that they depict the agony in that, I don't want to waste time shuffling through. I know I have it here, but angels, if I'm supposed to have it, please put it in my hand rather quickly so that I do not waste these people's time on this fine night, as I do have one more video to do to meet my personal quota for the evening. In the night, what I want you to know is this card, when I happen upon it, is one of the most agonizing cards, and this is a Light Seers Tarot, and so it is purposely drawn to, oh, they love me so much, thank you, you guys were supposed to see, because I was like, oh, don't make me go through all 78 cards. All right, this is what they ended up getting. Welcome to heartbreak. This is them crying out to the universe. This is not fair. This was not supposed to happen this way. Well, wait a minute, Gaston. But wait a minute, liar. But wait a minute, manipulator. When you were playing games with my divine feminine, when you were playing games with my empath and my earth angel, you were putting them in this, the Three of Swords. Same card, different deck. Second verse, same as the first. It is now your turn, but it's worse. That's what you need to know about that person that betrayed you. It is now their turn to feel the confusion that they subjected you to, the misunderstandings, the lack of clear communication. So many of my divine feminines are just brilliant at communication. I can speak for Miss Laura that I know personally, who is a Gemini rising, a Gemini sun. And the boomerang effect, exactly. Thank you, Ryan. Absolutely. So the boomerang effect happens to Divine Masculine here. I love when a Divine Masculine comes in. Thank you so much. I hold space for you. Thank you for joining us this evening. And please feel free to comment whatever you would like. But the boomerang effect happens, and it's because whatever we cause someone else to feel, we will feel. Maybe not from that person. So many of us get very attached to the outcome, and that's why I do karma readings and I get requests of them. And I have been that person attached to the outcome. But it was for a modicum of time because I understood, my higher self, my high priestess self understood that just the same way God blesses me, only He does it good. And just the same way that karma comes in for those who tried you, the universe does it better. I could never get back to that person what they did to me. But when they love somebody else completely, and when they sacrificed everything and put work, time, and energy in a way that they never would for me, because what do people usually do with us empaths? They take us for granted because we have a tendency to do what? People please. We have a tendency to be enmeshed and be in codependency. That's why this relationship happened. If you watch my last video with the magic mushroom, there was a heart card that came out which has to do with unconditional love. We all sign up for soul contracts with partners that teach us stuff. And so one of the things that I learned in my heartbreak, my moment of agony, was that I was so codependently enmeshed with someone who didn't value me whatsoever, who did value other things and other people and thought that they were infinitely better. Well, now they know. And the same is true for you. Remember what I said as we began this reading. This is a tale of two. One deck that is brand new, and one deck that was weathered and old and starting to get tattered. I've taped this tower because it's incredibly battered. Do you see the tape? Do you see how I have tape on this? Because I have had this deck and it's been my favorite. As a Girl Scout, one of the songs you sang, you've heard me say it before if you've been here, was make new friends but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. There is something to be said for working through a thing with a person, unless they are truly abusive, narcissistic, and then these are things we can't fix. But in long-term relationships where there just need to be adjustments in communications, then take that path because that is it. It is much better to end up with a card with tape on it than to have the new deck that could never equate to it. And that is exactly what happened. Someone wanted a new life. They had no problem causing you infinite strife. They didn't give a single fuck how you felt. They harassed you. They emotionally abused you. They gaslit you. They lied to you. They were provocative. They were argumentative. They were uncooperative. They were not effective in their communication, as Miss Laura is stating. They purposely withheld information that would have made things far easier because they thought the grass was much greener. And now they know that the grass is greenest where you water it. But now they're never going to get another earth angel or divine feminine to do that experiment with. Now they manifest people like them, people that are avaricious and low vibrational. And for them, Brian says, I am convinced my malignant ex put meth in my glass of wine. I've been sober for 20 years. Evil. Oh my God. I unfortunately am convinced that they did that to you as well, because I was too drugged by my narcissist as well. Laura says, oh no, Brian. I too was drugged by my narcissist upon our last time being together. Such a strange experience after 20 years of trusting someone and thinking that they were not evil, but they were. And evil will get evil done. I want you to understand this as you struggle to forgive those people, and I'm not saying you got to do it on this night, okay? But this is what I bring to you because I've worked through having to work through that forgiveness. Now, it took me a near-death experience and a few years and a lot of anger and a lot of things. But what I will tell you is this: their demons are irritated by your light. And demons have a mission to take you off your path no matter what. They hate the light, they hate goodness. So what I knew about my person, it wasn't so much that I could be like, well, I hate her forever. I knew that she was operating under the auspice of demonic energy. It was so very evident and clear to me, because even though she was lower vibrational, avaricious, greedy, poverty conscious, stricken, and many other things, the level of cravenous behavior was only something that the alignment with another malignant narcissist brings, meaning she did like some Wonder Twins unite and activate with someone that was just as evil as she, because she wanted to dish out hate. And the universe says, we shall let it be. And so it is. So I know that she was acting out of demonic attachments and entity attachments. She had no idea. She thought that she was 1000% right. For whomever did that to you, their demon literally gave them an assignment to finish you, to unend you, to unravel you. They wanted to pull you into that demon of addiction again. They wanted that spirit of addiction to take over you. So I do not doubt for a millisecond that that is something that your ex did do. But what I will tell you, Brian, is that they did not best you. You were aware and you are out and you got clear and you are staying clear of them. But let's get back to the reading. The heartbreak that they wanted to see you in is now where they are in. Now, what's happening for you? This is a barren place. This is a desolate place. Brian says he definitely tried to destroy me, and he almost did. In only 2 month period after the meth incident, I cut him off completely. He told me, "You have a dark soul." I laughed. They did not win, says Laura Bryan. Yeah, oh yeah, I was a dark soul too. I was evil. I was a witch. I was God knows what. But their lives tell the tale of the truth of who they are. I don't have to compete. I don't have to think about it. Oh, you're so welcome, Brian. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to compete. I didn't have to do any of that. I know who I am, my reputation, my life. You know, the Bible says, by your fruits you shall be known. It speaks for itself. Do not be caught up in the indoctrination. And Brian, I am a member of the LGBTQIA as well. I have a husband, but I am bisexual. And so what I will tell you is that is something that I dealt with a lot, is people trying to condemn me and my spiritual beliefs juxtaposed against who I loved or how I loved. Does that make sense? And so what I want you to understand, Brian, is that same word that I'm speaking is not to burn your soul, and it's not evil. You are a good human. You are an earth angel. You are a light worker, and it is evidenced by the battle that you were in with that malignant, narcissistic, evil ex. Demons only attacked angels. So fuck anybody. And yes, I can say that and still talk about God because the same God still loves me. Trust me, it's not as nuanced as we like to make it with our religious indoctrination. Forget anybody who's telling you any different. If you ever wondered whether you were of the light or the dark, or you ever wondered about your sexuality, or you struggle with that in any capacity, please know that the same God that created me created you and loves you. So if they could say your soul was dark, then I wonder what the devils would say to them, because they signed their soul over. He is a closet case. We had a secret relationship for 6 months back in 19. I didn't see the end of it. Something 89 or 99. Yeah, well, isn't that funny? I ran into a few closet cases myself in my day, and they were always very perplexed at how I could be so comfortable in my sexuality, how I could love both men and women and say it freely, how I didn't care. Well, I have, if you go to my community page, I have pictures of me kissing girls when I was in high school. Just had dinner with that same girl that I was kissing tonight. Had a beautiful multi-hour conversation as we were getting ready. We were in Florida getting ready for hurricane prep, and we met up, and it was wonderful. She is 1000% straight, but what I'm telling you, but we did date for a little bit. My point here, I deviate here, is to tell you this, is that be proud of who you are, closet cases or not. Yeah, closet cases or not. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your life. Be proud, and do not let anybody tell you your soul is dark when they have not even begun. The evidence, the proof is in the pudding. You won. And when I say you won, you extricated yourself, you freed yourself, and you got into a place of healthy connection with you, which will facilitate other healthy connections too. But people that deal with all of that, girl, I spent a lot of time in the South in the Bible Belt, and I'm so grateful that I was of a sound mind so that people couldn't sway me to not understand that I work with light. Anyway, so now this person is in heartbreak because they lost you. So one, they lost supply. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, they lost supply. They may have lost, exactly, be your authentic self. They may have lost you as a financial resource. Miss Laura, you can relate to that, right? So many of us were taking care, and even if they didn't lose you as a financial resource, they lost you as an emotional supply. Let me just pull a couple more cards here. Yeah, and you know why they lost you? Is because they couldn't make up their mind, and they were giving to two, so they were either lying or trying to like juggle you or do something like that. This card just depicts it so much, and what they got into was a bunch of fighting, disagreements here with the Nine of Swords. Clarify the energy as we wrap up this reading for tonight. Queen of Cups and the High Priestess. For some of you guys, it was a standoff between, and the Queen of Cups came out upside down. So some of you guys, it was a standoff between a Queen of Cups, which would be scorpionic energy. So this could be either someone that was very emotionally imbalanced, someone that was actually crazy. Queen of Cups is associated with Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. But when we see it, because it's about emotions, it's someone who's emotionally balanced, especially upside down. So somebody here left you for another connection, or someone that was completely unhinged, or they themselves were unhinged. If they didn't leave you for someone, actually, they left you when they were not well in their own mind, and you saw that as a High Priestess. And that's why you, High Priest, High Priestess, whatever you want to dictate. And Laura says, I was sucked dry emotionally, spiritual warfare for me. Yeah. So, and that is true. That is true. Because when we have a Queen of Cups upside down, that's scorpionic energy, like I said, and it's an emotional imbalance. So someone that will suck you dry. And I will tell you, in my situation, I was sucked dry too. I was tired. I was exhausted. I help people for a living. I essentially provide spiritual, metaphysical therapy for people every day. I do readings, all of that. You guys here know me, know what I do. And I was like, if you can't work with me, homie, then I'm never going to work with you, because I know how to work with people. So the issue here isn't me. It is you. So often it's that it's not me, it's you. It really was them, guys. So I want you to get out of your head about that. They traded you in for the newer, shinier thing, whether it's their ego, their ideology, or whatever they thought this life had for them to bring, and they miss you so badly. But let's get into the conclusion of what you need to know as you sojourn. They 9/9s, man, we can't make it up. Now they have PTSD. Now they are triggered. Now I also want to address this too. Thank you so much, Miss Laura. God, you helped me too. I learned so much from you. But what I'm going to tell you is, with the PTSD, you have this as well. So here's the thing. Remember we talked about that boomerang effect? I think it was Brian that said that, yeah? Or Miss Laura, forgive me for whoever said that. But with the boomerang effect, what happens is they will experience everything they put you through. So how many of us had PTSD? How many of us were triggered? Even as I went into other relationships after that relationship was over, I definitely was more weary and leery. I didn't love the same. It took me a while to get recalibrated. It took a while for my heart to heal. And if you watch my last video, I'm still at the tail end of really fully releasing and healing and shedding the skin of all of that heartbreak and betrayal and all of the rest of it. I was absolutely besotted, as many of us were, with a person, but really I was besotted with an illusion, because that person didn't exist. Yes? And so now they are left with PTSD. This is associated with the sign of Sagittarius, the Nine of Wands. And so now they have PTSD. Now they think that the things are coming after them, and they think things are going bump in the night. You see these spiders approaching them? Narcissists are very much associated with the spider too. So if you see anybody do work, they talk about that. And why? Because they were selfish. So some of them wanted to lean into their addiction, into their codependency. The Nine of Cups upright in that way can be wish fulfillment, but they thought they were getting wish fulfillment, but it was really a dupe. It was really a bait and switch. And so they said, oh, order the new deck. Yes. Trade in, lie, leave, betray, do all the things, because what we're going to give you is an out completely into the worst days of your life. The boomerang effect will be so total and so thorough that you will not know what hit you. They're asking me to finish for us regarding what we walk into, though, now that we went through that. So they left, and they got what they got, and we got what we get. So let's see, with the new Oracle deck that I have that I was speaking about, what comes in as we leave this mess behind. I have change here. Numu Nomo, change. Oh, now that went flying. Let's see. For this, I have my handy dandy grabber. This happens to me all the time when I'm reading. My cards fly out. Divine Feminine, the Void, and the Wizard. High Priestess, love to see it. And Cloud Meditation. Look up. Now, what they asked me to do is to read these cards to you as we wrap up tonight, okay, guys? So I'm going to do that, so bear with me. This will be a little bit longer. But someone traded you in, and they are receiving every bit of things that they gave you and more. And also, it's a 7 to 10 year sentence. You guys, this is not something that goes quickly or easily. This is not something where it's going to be over for them. You know, a lot of us got out of it within a couple of years, right? We were able to kind of put ourselves back together, whatever the case may be, maybe a year. For me, it was a few really intense months. The worst part was before it actually happened, before I actually left, was the heart of spiritual warfare, because I was in that weird limbo state where we are second guessing our heart and our soul, right? And our mind, right? And we're really getting in tune. It's a very shamanic experience, because you have nothing, because they're gaslighting you and lying to you. And you're like, I'm so uncomfortable here. And Miss Laura, I know for you too, you had about 2 years lead up before you were like, you know what, I got to pull the trigger here, right? So we all have times, and this is very unanimous and similar experience that we all have, where we're observing somebody and then we're trying to like work through, well, what is right and what is wrong? Am I overreacting? This and that, because we're empaths, so we give an abundance of chances, you know. So anyway, let's get into this. But what I will tell you is, once you make the cut, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, but it usually lasts a few months of major suckage, and then it stops. For me, anyway, that was it. So Numu Nomo change. Let's see here. We'll read them as we pull them. 123. 123. I love that. A new order of things. When you get that angel number, maybe someone needs to look up the angel number 123. Let's talk about this. Numo Nomo is the chameleon of the culture suit. As culture changes, we change. As we progress through life, can you guys see that? As we progress through life, from adolescence to full-grown adults, it may feel like we are battling ourselves and our programs. That's so powerful. Didn't we have programs to overlove, to over-nurture, and maybe to overlook terrible behavior, to play nice, to make a partnership work even when they were doing nothing to make it work with us, even when they thought they were better than us, taking us for granted, looking down on us, judging us, you name it, right? We need to overlook our programs. So, Numu Nomo appears when the conditioning you have been inputting into your operating system is no longer compatible. How we were no longer compatible with them, right? This is a call for you to wrap yourself around what you think you know and what may have been instilled in you as a default by your parents, grandparents, and even possibly your friends, exes, and society as a whole. Small mushrooms. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. Oh, my previous video was about mushrooms. I am just getting into this deck because remember, guys, I told you this is a new deck, and if you saw my last video, you'll understand. Small mushrooms. Small mushrooms gather around Numo Nomo and in the background of the card as a reminder to connect the entire network of beings on the planet. We are all... Do I see the mushrooms? Oh, yeah, they're really big. They're not even small. They're really big mushrooms. You guys see those here? Let me see here. It's so small here, guys. My age is showing. Entire network of beings on the planet, we are all intertwined with each other as we come from the same source of energy. Connect with your inner warrior, healer, lover, friend, and be the chameleon of your own life. At times, you may even see the confirmation of the rainbow reminding you that all is well. The world is much smaller than you can imagine. Our connections to others are intertwined more than you know. So that goes back to what I was saying in this other card that came up here, which was unconditional love. Yeah. And so what I want you to understand is this: these people, believe it or not, even though they were toxic soulmates that you guys agreed. I believe this. We agreed before we came in to incarnate and learn these lessons so that we could evolve and that we could ascend. These are exactly what we needed to have happen in order for our ascension and growth. As painful as it is, it doesn't mean that you deserved it or that you called it in, but you did agree on a higher subconscious level before you ever incarnated in a physical being in this earth to have the lesson and have this person teach it in a specific way that they did. And you are also a teacher to them, because what they learned in you is that the buck stops here. For so many of the people watching or that will watch this back, they will never be able to get away with the behavior they did, or they will never have the compassion that you gave or the leeway or whatever. So something ended with you that they'll never be able to replicate, which brings us full circle to the message of the Tale of Two decks. You guys get it? One deck, weathered, worn, something they looked down on, they didn't think that there was a use for, they devalued, they betrayed, they gaslit, they lied to. The new deck they thought was better, the opportunity, their ego, whatever, but it is not substantial, it is not sturdy, and it's not made to withhold the test of time. By forfeiting you, who was divine, they no longer have something that stands the test of time, nor do they have access to it again. Access not granted. That is where the rainbow ends. And while you see rainbows and flourishes of colors and new beginnings and new people hitting on you, and new opportunities and new potential for growth and new businesses and new children and new families and new vehicles and new homes and new whatever, you name it, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, what they see is the remnant of where a rainbow once was, and never into their life again will come such a thing. It will be people that they manifest that are just like them, as they stay in their stagnancy as they wanted you to be, downtrodden and beneath them. It is done, it is done, it is done. And so it is. And for you, the light comes in. Let's carry on. Divine feminine or masculine from my sweet Brian. At the bottom of the card it says the void. Let's see. Divine feminine. $110. Number is 2. Added. I'm doing numerology as we're doing it. And so what that deals with is partnership. So let's take a look and see. It says the masculine. Oh, and you know what's on this card? A rainbow. My angels are hilarious. A cosmic rainbow, if you will. The masculine and feminine aspects of you are in balance. What happens when we release toxicity from our life? We come into a place of balance. Sweet balance that it can only be achieved because when we release a karmic relationship, we make way and a room for our growth and our ascension, and for us to be reintegrated back to our greater glory and our former selves. The card brings feelings of comfort, love, kindness, compassion, and tolerance. Menstruation and birth are considered rites of passage or internal initiations. Men also have undergone their sacred initiations to be able to enter this integration and fulfill their true purpose. There you go, Brian. It is in the blackness of the void, the womb, that the seed alchemizes and begins to grow. Sleep with this card under your pillow to receive messages from your subconscious or other oracles that may be trying to come to you. Each soul is encrypted with a divine journey and a blueprint, but we know the external factors can shift our growth. No one can truly hurt you when this card appears. You are the one who integrates hurt into compassion and love. Now, I was saying this in my last video regarding the shamanic journey that I went on with my mushrooms. But what I want you to understand is that's exactly and precisely what I was talking about as a divine feminine or divine masculine. We transmute our pain into power. We transmute our toxicity into power sources, into elevation, into enlightenment. We take on the toxicity of those narcissistic people in order to sometimes clean them like a dialysis machine. And that's why they don't want you to go anywhere, because you make them better. You make them feel better. Your attraction, your love, the connection and time and energy that you pour into them makes them more radiant and glowing, and makes them seem to the community like they're some paragon of wonderfulness, when in fact it is your energy and your light that they're siphoning in order to seem that way. And when you remove your energy, then no longer does the glow come to play, because the glow goes back to its rightful home with my divine feminine and my divine masculine, where the glow is so intrinsically known because it emanates from our very being. We are created and designed to be seen, but we are created and designed to heal as well. And when you jettison off a toxic partner or a connection or a family member, where you get away from a job that's siphoning your energy, you get back to the brightness and the radiance that you were always meant to be, and they can no longer take that away from thee. That's what you need to know. New thought pattern. I am confident. It is safe for me to be powerful. Work with citrine. The bowl that I have here, let me see if I can reach it. Oh, the bowl. Oh, I can't. But it is my yellow solar plexus bowl. The lemons here behind me as well. Pay attention to yellow and gold and things of that nature. I was very drawn to that tonight, just for my own self. It's what I wanted to wear to dinner, all the things. But I want you to pay attention to that, because what you are going to do is pull in and raise your solar plexus vibration, which is associated with the sun and which is associated with creativity. Ryan says, Laura says, I have compassion, but I look at love with a side eye. You're going through a thing. That's fine, Miss Laura. Took a while to get back, but yes, very, very true. Just fantastic. I have a citrine crystal on deck. Excellent. So work with that. And Laura, you said you were a perfect place to burn, to bring that citrine to the fore is to put it next to the strength candle you said you were burning earlier, okay? Because strength is associated with Leo. Leo is associated with the sun. Citrine is also associated with that. So these are hand in hand, okay? So that's how you can enhance that citrine and really start to raise your vibration and your self-esteem. So that is what you do. That's the new thought pattern, is I am confident and it is safe for me to be powerful. I love that so much because, and right before me, I have this yellow associated also with the citrine solar plexus as well. Thank you, angels. But what I will tell you is this, and a mushroom, a blossoming. One of the things that is so fascinating about mushrooms is that they create their own ecosystem. And so when you pull away from someone toxic, you have to create a new ecosystem, because the one you were existing, it had toxic spores. Does that make sense? Thank you, angels, for that download. So what I want you to do is to recreate your ecosystem, one where it is safe, especially because in the previous card we were taking a look with the mushrooms. Okay, so fill the void with new love for yourself. You were able to create and you're able to pull in exactly what you need. All right, so let's carry on. The next card was Wizard, and let's see where Wizard is at. 79. Excuse me. Balance. Here's someone with a spliff. Balance. So for whoever indulges, no judgments, no judgments. Of course, this is the metaphysical cannabis oracle deck, so it is rife with marijuana imagery. But balance. The wizard card, in the wizard card, we see how a person has transformed after applying the lessons learned. The wizard in the card is standing on the pier. We can't see that here because it's so up close, but the wizard in the card is standing on the pier watching the waves, I'm trying to get it to the light, guys, carry off the sand. He maintains a sense of balance, knowing that what is his will come to him and will not pass him by. The wizard stands with 3 joints lined up, representing moving into the next stages of a situation. In my last live, I was working with the number 3, 333, working with Ascended Masters, but also getting ready. 1, 2, 3. What did we start with? Remember, I said 1, 2, 3. We are taking steps into the next thing. The wizard always shows up when it's time to travel. While he stands with his back to us, we must wait for him to turn around, symbolizing the patience of the joint. The momentum to turn the ground herbs into the wand, wow, signifies growth and a rite of passage delivered by the wizard. The plant spirit associated with the wizard is not marijuana, it's actually basil. So maybe make some chia seed pudding for yourself, because that's a very transformative thing. What does that happen? And I think this is so enigmatic of our empathetic nature. We are like the chia seeds. We are absorbent. You know, chia seeds absorb multiple times their weight in water and in moisture. So that chia seed pudding is a great way to cleanse yourself. But it is associated with the basil seed. That is a basil seed. That's what chia seed is, for those of you guys that know. I'm a former culinarian here, personal chef and all that stuff. I went to culinary school. So that chia seed, that basil seed, if you want to put some fresh basil on your food, I think the green would be very powerful for the heart chakra healing. But I love the description of turning it into a wand and turning something that's ground up into a wand that we then smoke and disappears. 1, 2, 3 steps. It's so so beautiful. My angels never miss. But I just heard that about the chia seed. So there may be some realignment for you too, health wise, as you're coming out of toxic relationships. Because one of the cards that I didn't pull, but it was food meditation that came out. And I didn't feel like it was for us, but maybe it is. Maybe it's for me. Maybe it's for you. I don't know. But some chia seed pudding would be really delicious if you could stand it. If you don't like chia seed, maybe buy a chia pet. Maybe just put some chia seeds in some soil. They grow incredibly fast. Nothing much happens. They grow incredibly fast. Basil, yeah, pesto. These are ways to enhance and raise your vibration for understanding that you are alchemical and magic. And also a nod back to the absorption. What we do as empaths is we take on other people's energy, their toxicity, and their issues, and we try to fix them. I'm thinking of Coldplay. I will try to fix you. We always try to fix people. We leave people. We obey the rule of camp. And the rule of camp as a former Girl Scout is you leave camp better than you found it, which means that we would pick up trash before we left, or we would look for cigarette butts or something. Even if we didn't place them there clearly, we left it better than we found it. That is the rule of camp. And as empaths, we embody the rule of camp. We absorb all of that. But in doing so, it can overwhelm us. So Laura said, done, done, done. And that's the 10 of Wands. We get to the place of being completely done with the situation because we reach our maximum absorption rate. And people think as they fill us and fill us and fill us and put on us and put us and put on us that we're going to forever absorb their nonsense, their toxicity. And I'm thinking of a quote from Madonna, I'm not your whatever, don't put your shit on me. Like, we can't take it anymore. We're not gonna take it. You've reached your maximum. Someone here watching, someone here that watches the playback has reached your maximum absorption rate. So I want you to celebrate that you realize that and go find some basil and incorporate it into your food or in your life in some capacity. Whether it's the sweet pudding you make for yourself, you purchase it, or you get some fresh basil on some pasta, and be mindful to say, I have reached my maximum absorption rate, and stare, if it is a fresh leaf, at the verdant green and say, my heart heals as I eat this. I have given everything that I had to give. Okay? All right, and the last card here is Cloud Meditation, which says to look up. Now, what I'm noticing right away are the big drops coming down. Raindrops keep falling on my window. And let's take a moment and give a nod to the emotionality that comes with releasing one of these situations. It is not for the faint of heart. It will feel like you are absolutely broken. You will shed tears. You will cry. You will be distraught. You will be beside yourself. You will want to isolate. You will push people away. You will hermit yourself. You will not want to come up for air another day. That is the reality of being in a situation like that. And it's something that happens because you feel like no one has your back, so you push people away. So let's see what the card has to say. Okay? Cloud Meditation. I'm drawn to this first card, Abracadabra, but we'll see. 65. Cloud Meditation. It says, look up. I am strong and healthy thanks to physical movement. Your judgment is getting clouded by greed or overindulgence. The Cloud Meditation asks you to find the deep inner child who used to find shapes in the clouds and nourish them. Spend time looking up at the sky. Take in the wealth that is available to pour down on the crops you've planted and to grow the seeds of abundance. Wealth is not only material, it is love, compassion, freedom, and joy that bring alignment and flow. Let me clarify that because I heard the question. When it says your judgment is getting clouded by greed and overindulgence, well, you're like, well, I'm not overeating, Monette, so I don't know what you're talking about. When we are in a grief state, we will overindulge in our grief. Boom, epiphany. Do you feel that? Does that ripple in your soul? Do you feel what I'm saying? We will overindulge in a state of a personal commiseration. Even if you push everybody away and you're not commiserating with anybody, actually, we will overindulge in that. And so someone's angel is just, they're checking you. They're pulling your collar and they're like, wait a minute, empath, you were designed to give light and to give lessons and to give love. And you have been so downtrodden in your grief that you have almost overdone it, and there is nothing good that comes without balance. So there will be some levity. So that means, like, if you are like, I want no love, I'm super good, side eye to love, side eye to anybody, then maybe someone's going to flirt with you or hit on you, and you may not do a thing with it, but they're letting it happen to show you that there is a balance. I'm thinking of Kanye's mother's quote, Donda West: even if you are not ready for day, it cannot always be night. Yeah, empath. It cannot always be night. So that's to clarify that. For some of you, it could also be overindulgence in other ways, okay? When we're in grief, we escape. We have escapist tendencies, and we all can do that. So it could be overeating, over drinking, over shopping, you name it, right? We all can, all have sinned, right? So let's see here. Wealth is not the only material. It is love, compassion, freedom, and joy that bring alignment and flow. When cloud meditation comes to you, you are asked to let go and believe the winds will carry your seeds of hope, to a favorable ground. Success is on the horizon. Take time to stare at the clouds and let yourself receive. Go outside, lie down, look up at the sky for at least 11 minutes in a space where you can focus undisturbed. Notice how it changes and what emotions, thoughts, and downloads arise for you. Don't rush. Journal your thoughts and simply let them drift by like clouds. The crystal pairing is caliphrite. Caliphrite. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for my crystal book here. I have it right in front of me. Organization is such a lovely thing. Let me see if I can find caliphrite. If not, I have a crystal map. But let's see if I can find caliphrite in here. Oh, these are not alphabetical. The love of my life. Golden Hour. That song, The Love of My Life. Caliphrite, caliphrite. I do not see caliphrite in this. In this one, I do not see caliphrite. But that is okay. Someone look up caliphrite and see what it does. I'm definitely going to look, and I will see if I can post it in the community page. It is not in my crystal book that's on hand. I have chakra healing. I do have another crystal book. I do. Oh, this is so funny. My angels are hilarious because the author of this book, yeah, you guys are funny. The author of this book, I don't know the author. The name is the name of the person that I've talked about that was my narcissist. So let's take a look and see if I can find caliphrite in here. No? Citrine, rose quartz. We talked about someone definitely needs citrine. It's not organized that way. This is a really extensive book. But it's not organized in the way that I would want it to be so that I could just jump to caliphrite for you. So apparently we were supposed to look up caliphrite, okay? So I tried, but I will definitely get that in the community page for you. My phone is actually dying as we go. What I want to leave you with is, what is it? One pull out of this deck to see what the lessons are, and we will finish up, okay, guys, so that I can get to bed. I thought I was going to pull out another one, but I'm not supposed to tonight. This card flips out here, which is sexuality. Yeah, they don't want you to forget how powerful you are. I'm not even going to read that one. We'll just leave that there. You interpret that however you want to. Clarify, yes, I love this. The North Node. The North Node is what comes up because after we get out of a spiritual warfare with somebody, we will get into alignment with our North Node, which is exactly what happened for me. I was already working my North Node. I was already working in this field and whatnot, but it exploded into incredible success for me because I dropped someone that was karmic. The North Node is just as important as our big three. I can't make it up. It says it right here. Just as important as our big three. Do you see that, guys? What's the number that we've been working with tonight synchronistically is 3, okay? And our Mercury sign, and we also talked about Mercury. God, I love when they do this, okay? So for someone here, you need to go check out, if you don't know your chart already, go see where your Mercury sign is so that you can see how you are designed to heal, what went wrong in your last connection, and what can go right in your next connection. My North Node is in Aries, so you are meant to be a leader and a conquistador, Miss Laura, for sure. Um, your North Node indicates the lessons and attributes that you adopt in this lifetime in order to transcend karmic cycles that could have hindered growth in a past lifetime. The house in which your North Node sits can indicate whom and how we learn these lessons with, with whom and how we learn these lessons with, and what we're driven towards. This card can indicate a need to focus on developing attributes and qualities of your North Node. Okay, homework, guys. The old teacher in me is coming out. I definitely want you guys to go to Cafe Astrology and look, Google in your Google search bar, Cafe Astrology free natal chart, okay? And what you're going to do is Google that, and you're going to input your time, date, month, and birth. If you know your time, that's going to really help. They'll also ask you for the place where you're born. What I want you to do is print out that or read it. If you don't want to print it out, have it on your phone and go through and read it. But what you're looking for is your Mercury and your North Node. It will be clearly denoted in the paragraphs that fall beneath. If you can't read the chart, that's okay. Not all of us do. They definitely will have paragraphs which explain that to you. It is important for you to understand where your Mercury sits and where your North Node is. I think I'm being called right now to create a series where we go through each one of those. So I will talk about each one of those. So even if I don't hit yours, stay tuned, because I will. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to go through and talk about our Mercury North Nodes and where they sit in each planet and how they affect you. So see if you find that video and if it lines up for you, so that we can kind of like touch base about that. I love you guys so much. It's been such a pleasure. The message was someone traded you in for bullshit, essentially, but that was what they were supposed to do. It was always designed that way, for them to betray you in that regard, and it was always designed for you to take your power back and your strength. You had reached your maximum absorbency, basil, chia seeds. You had reached your maximum nonsense meter, and it was time to break free, and you are their karmic lesson forever, in perpetuity, forever, in eternity. And I could not be happier for you. It's a much better place to be on your side. The boomerang will no longer affect thee. I love you guys so much. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.